This video is made possible by the following sponsors. Make sure to check out their products as well as the rest of my gear in the description below.
Hey guys, full screen Jimmy here, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be taking advantage of one of the features of the Fanatec McLaren GT Free Rim to answer a personal curiosity, which is, what is it like to race with hand controls? Now, whilst I am fortunate enough to have the full use of both of my legs, of course there are those who are not so fortunate. Of course, one of the biggest stories from the last few years is that of Billy Munger. Now, I, like a lot of people, have been following Billy's story and his efforts to get back into motor racing after his horrifying crash back in 2017. And I'll even admit to shedding a tear or two when he came back to Alton Park and secured a podium using a car specially adapted for himself. A truly amazing effort. To give this a go for myself, I have remapped both my throttle and brake access to the paddles on the back of this McLaren GT Free Rim. Let me show you what I mean. Now, on the back of the rim we have 4 paddles. We have up gear and down gear on a little rocker like this, and then below we have the clutch paddles you can see down here. Now, these paddles down below are analog, which means that I can progressively apply throttle and brake. The only downside is the travel is quite small, which means I have to be very, very sensitive with the input I put in. Otherwise, I'm likely going to spin or lock up if I'm a bit too harsh on the brake. And with that, we're now in game. Today, we're going to be racing the AI in a 7-lap race around the Silverstone short circuit. And aside from about a lap of practice just to try and get the feel of the paddles, I've not really driven this that much, so you're going to be seeing almost my first attempt at driving here with the paddles. I've made the webcam in the bottom left hand corner a little bit bigger so you guys can see a bit more of what's going on here with the wheel, and hopefully gives you a better insight into what it's like to drive a race car, albeit in a simulator, with hand controls. Well then, so here we are on the grid. We'll use our right paddle to rev the engine, wait for the lights, and we'll pull the right paddle here to get going. So then 7 laps at Silverstone are underway using hand controls. Now you can see on the left hand side I've got my pedal inputs there on the left, so you can see what sort of inputs I'm putting through the paddles. Going down to T1, dab of the brakes, down to 4th, easy back on. We notice that I'm not wearing gloves as well. That's because it's actually really hard to do this with gloves. They kind of trip over each other a bit. Easy, easy, easy. Braking with my little finger right now. Very weird sensation. Not particularly fast through there, but we're through okay. Up to 3rd gear. We'll hold 3rd downhill here. Oh, nearly ran to the back of the guy in front there. Had to smash the brakes, and by smash I mean yank. It's a very weird sensation there. Now we'll pop into the slipstream of the guy in front, and already I can feel my hand, it feels very strange. My muscle is not used to this position, so it's starting to ache somewhat, but hopefully we'll get through these 7 laps easy enough. Coming up to Stowe, dab of the brakes on the way in. Try not to brake too hard, don't want to unsettle the car there. It's very hard to hold a certain amount of brake. It's a lot easier just to slam the brakes and try and peel off a little bit there, but oh jeez, trying to avoid the guys around me. F4 car is really good to kind of demonstrate this because no traction control, no ABS, so when I do lock up you will see it. As we make up another place. Thank you very much, sir. Coming on to our 2nd lap now. And already I'm at a decent-ish pace, you know. Of course, stuff like racing line, that doesn't change at all. That's something that's just ingrained in your head. It's easy enough to get a gear when you want. Although I find myself, funnily enough, tensing my legs when I go into a braking zone because I'm used to hitting the brake hard on these shifting valve pedals, which is a very weird sensation, I must say. Coming onto the hanger straight once more. And yeah, I can already feel on the top of my hand, like I said on the last lap, it's starting to ache somewhat. Having to hold the paddle here constantly. I'm going to come on with a little bit of attack here. So go to the inside, so I'm going to just crowd him over and then take back my line. Trying not to go around the off throttle there completely. I'm afraid to touch the throttle while the car's under some sort of load there. Trying to get the switch back, coming into Vale, brake just over the crest. Oh, lock up there on the way in. And sorry. Kind of just not inputting anything there. Hello, dude. All right, round he goes. See you later, mate. Continuing my recent form of punting people off a circuit, it seems. Otherwise, it's going okay. So 109 that lap. I'll be interested to see what sort of lap time I do without the pedals. The paddles, sorry. I might just flash that on screen at some point and give you a comparison that way. I'm trying to be as soft as I can on that brake paddle. I'm literally using my little finger on that. You can probably see when I turn how my hands are arranged on the wheel. When I'm going for the right handle, then after I come off, I take my hand off the paddle and use it on the wheel completely. So hopefully you get some insight there. Of course, it's kind of hard to get a camera a bit closer than it is now. All my guys coming back. I'm starting to fall back a bit from the field, but that's okay. There you go. That's nice. See, the braking is quite, I don't know, it's quite frantic almost. There's no smoothness to it yet, and I think that maybe after a while I'd get there, but it would take definitely a while. Go in front gets it wrong, I'll take that place. Cheers muchly, on to lap 4. Lap flying by around here, and I can already say that the ease of setting this up, this wheel to do this, is as simple as flicking a switch on the wheel and then setting the axis in game. That's it. And you've already got what is essentially a fantastic alternative if you don't have perhaps full use of your legs or maybe limited use. This makes it a bit easier. Of course, in this car, it's quite tricky, and I don't want to think about how it would be to use a manual car with a clutch as well, but in this F4 car, it would take a bit of getting used to, but I think you'd get there. I really do think you would. Right, so every time I've gone into stow so far, I've had someone looking at my inside, so... Oh no, a bit too hard there, and there you go, that is the thing that can happen. I grabbed the brakes a bit too hard there and just ended up going around. It's so easy to do that because there's so little travel and so little resistance on the paddle that you just boop, and you're already on full lock, which is 100% braking, you know, and these cars especially super easy to lock up, which I did just then, and it caused me to spin, but we're still going. As I said, you know, I've only had a couple of laps in this thing, so there's definitely time to be gained, and just getting used to the setup in general. But again, as I said, I think it'll be a great alternative for those who maybe don't have full use of the legs. Oh god. See, there actually I got confused. I got confused in the paddles. I shifted down, but forgot to brake. So that's just a little bit of muscle memory there that needs to be embedded. Car on my inside, yeah. He's through. I'm not going to come last in this race. I'm determined. Stow is probably the hardest corner on the circuit. It's the corner you want to kind of trail brake into a little bit and then get on the throttle. And trail braking, while you can do it, it's hard to brake enough and get it right. So that's about the best I've done it so far, I think. And I still lose a lot of time to the car in front. Okay, in we go. Nice. Easy, easy, easy. Okay. So, penultimate lap. It's always a very difficult word to say. The 108.8. I think that's not my best lap so far, but still lift through there now. You can hear the turbo as I get off there. Nice little turbo noises in this RSS car. Let's try and get this right this time. Braking a bit early for my liking, but we got through, which is important. Oh, my first little bit of oversteer there, and my immediate reaction was to get off the paddle. We go rolling it through onto the straight, a much better reaction. The driving style changes quite significantly when you have such little throw. Of course, like a lot of people, I'm so used to doing this with my legs and my feet, so I have kind of built up a little bit of, there you go again, damn it, another spin in the stow. You get used to that sensation with your feet. I have to change hands there to get on the wheel. That is a downside. I'll go back into that point in a second. But when you are on a lot of lock, it's very hard to keep your hand on the throttle. So somewhere like Monaco would be quite difficult, I think, with this amount of lock. But anyway, we've got a clear track now. Let's try and go out on a high and set a fast lap, shall we? And whilst my performance in this race hasn't been fantastic, I think it shows that it is definitely possible, you know. On the laps that there were no mistakes from me, and again, this is very new to me. You know, I was running mid to lower pack, but I was still running. I wasn't last, you know. And it was more than possible to race other people. As I always say of these sort of videos, there's going to be someone out there like Billy, who is infinitely more skilled than I am, and more dexterous, I think. And we'll find this a lot easier. But anyway, we're 3 temps up, or we will be 3 temps up or so when we get to the end of the straight, on our best time. So let's try and carry that all the way to the end of the lap, shall we? Now let's down the 5th, down the 4th, in. Yeah, I missed the apex by a country mile. Lost a little bit of time through there, but we're still up. Try some semi-aggressive braking in Vale. We can brake in a straight line here, which is what I like. No. Oh, I kept it nice. A little bit scary. And we're still up. We're 3 temps up, so we're going to set our personal fastest lap there, which is going to be a 107, I think. Yeah, 107.8. Not so bad, and of course I come last there. But that's what it's like, guys, to use hand controls. That 107.8 was my best time with hand controls. I'm going to flash up on screen now my best time that I did with my pedals. I'm going to run just 1 lap after this and let you know what it was. But there you go, guys. That's what it's like to use hand controls in a Formula 4 car, albeit, of course, in a simulator. My final thoughts is that I really do think that with practice I could be pretty close to where I am with pedals. Of course, I don't think I'd ever be able to get to the same level, given that I drive a real car as well. No, shocker, right? A real life road car with my legs, of course, my entire life. Well, since I've had my driving license, I've been a simulator. My entire life I've been using my legs, so this is extremely foreign to me. But I think with a lot of practice and a lot of perseverance, I think you could be maybe, just as, maybe even as quick as you are with the pedals. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it informative or interesting. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. And if you really enjoyed it, hit subscribe and the bell notification icon. That way you'll be made aware of future videos and future streams. As always, a big shout out to my patrons and sponsors, and of course a special mention to Billy Munger, who inspired this video. I hope your journey continues. You are an absolute joy to watch. Take care, have an awesome day. See you all next time.